Hi guys, well, as trailed, the family have now arrived out here. We have one Charlie in our living room down in the basement, and we're now looking at the map we've set up on the table today. So I've bought some big wooden pacing stables, might get a third one to make us have a really large space down here, but at the moment only got two. And we're doing quite a small, so it's probably a 3.5 foot, 4 foot perhaps by 10 table, so it's quite a long table here, and we're playing a scenario of the first battle of Lutzen from the old General de Brigade scenario books, but we're going to use the General d'Armée rules. We're probably going to still use version 1, give us a bit of time to get back into the hang of playing the game, because we haven't played it for several months, have we, Charlie? No, that was a no. So here we go. Charlie, you're taking on the Prussians, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you've got 4 brigades of attacking Prussians in this scenario. We have one brigade down here. I think they're Silesians. We've got a smaller brigade of West Prussians here in the centre, and 3 artillery batteries of 2 battalions, 2 batteries of Prussian guns, and 1 heavy Russian battery. Charlie, could you stop rattling the dice for a sec? And then we've got another West Prussian brigade here assaulting this village. Objectives: capture for a clear victory all 4 villages on the table. For a draw, you need to hold 2, and any other result will go to whoever holds the majority of the villages. Prussians also have some light cavalry. These are Uhlans and Hussars on the flank with a horse artillery battery, and opposing them we have a bunch of French troops. These are mainly provisional battalions, so mainly second rate. We do have a Hussar and a Chasseur Cheval regiment, so both sides have a regiment of light cavalry. Both sides have 4 regiments, but the Prussians definitely have the advantage in quality. We'll see how Charlie can do, see if he can get a crushing victory in this first game. We'll then play the follow-on Lutzen scenario, which you've seen us play in 28mm. We do also, in 15mm, have most of the units we need to do the counterattack by the Young Guard, so we'll do that as our subsequent game. Alright, let's get going and see how this game plays out in 15mm. Alright, so we've just rolled for activations. Charlie put infantry assault on his brigade on the right here to assault this village, but unfortunately, despite a reroll, they went hesitant. We got artillery assault off on our battery up here in the rear, and this brigade is active. Otherwise, we have a lot of hesitant brigades for the French. The one in the centre, the one in this village, and the one in that village were all hesitant. Our cavalry was active, I think. Just rolling again, just in case I hadn't rolled, but yeah, they're active. So all my infantry brigades, apart from the ones that were potentially being assaulted, are hesitant. For the Prussians, the only hesitant brigade is the one that was assaulting. All the others are inactive. Charlie's just raised a good question. If this brigade is hesitant, can they reinforce if they are close assaulted this turn? They can only be close assaulted by 1 battalion because he doesn't have infantry assault on. But he's raising a good point as to whether they can initiate a charge if hesitant. So we'll have to see if we can find anything on the rules for that. Right, let's roll for initiative. So it'll be -3 for the French. They roll a 9. Prussians roll a 9. Charlie has initiative, and we'll see what he does. Okay, so we've done the first turn's charges and movements. Charlie's, because he didn't have infantry assault, he can only assault with 1 battalion. But I think we have concluded, as this brigade is hesitant, we can't countercharge with our extra battalion. So Charlie does have a bit of momentum here. So he's assaulted with his grenadiers from this West Prussian brigade. They are veteran quality troops. Otherwise, he's moved his light cavalry up, forcing the French to form square for the battalion that was guarding the flank of this village. The French, who moved second, have started moving their light cavalry. They moved them through their gun battery, which will mask it this turn, but potentially threatens a flank charge if the French get an initiative next turn, so that's what they're aiming for. Otherwise, they may be in trouble in this village. Charlie's continued to push forward in the centre and is ready for an assault over here, but without infantry assault, he decided not to go in. The Prussians were pushed back, French battalion on the flank, charged that skirmish screen, which fell back in front of them. Otherwise, that's it. So we're on to firing. Charlie, you're going to open up with your artillery
Shall I do skirmishes first?
Okay, let's do skirmishes first.
I've got just these three.
Yeah.
Those two.
Okay, let's do those. So 3 bases needing 5s or 6s. Okay, that's 1 casualty caused on the French skirmishers.
The other ones
Yeah.
do nothing, so they'll shoot me them.
Yeah.
Now I've got 3 guns here.
Yeah.
In the battery. The first
Well, it's 3 batteries, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 batteries. So first gun.
Yeah.
Is going to fire them.
Okay.
Then the second gun will fire against them.
Yeah.
And the last gun's going to fire against them.
Yeah, okay, I think you can do that. That's fine. We'll just check the ranges and be back in a second. Right, so we're going to start with the Russian gun battery. They're being heavies. They are in effective range. So let's open fire at them. You're firing at a column. And the skirmish screen doesn't do anything against ball shot at long range. So let's see what we get.
So this one first?
No, do the heavy gun first.
Heavy.
That's effective range. A 10. That's pretty good. And effective range is 3 casualties and a discipline test on the French. So we'll put 2 dice there, so remember to do the discipline test, and that's 3 casualties on that French battalion. All right, then the next battery at long range.
This one?
Yeah. A 4.
That's just nothing.
That will be nothing. Yeah, and then the final battery. A 6 is half a casualty. 4, 5, or 6. No, nothing.
No.
So let's do the discipline test for these French. They're still counting as effective troops. At 10, they are fine. All right, Charlie's then firing his horse artillery battery at these approaching hussars. Effective range, Charlie. They're all thought that was going to be a good roll, but just average, so that's just 1 casualty on the hussars. Okay, and then any infantry firing.
So these 2 are firing at half effect.
Right, and they're also firing into a built-up area, aren't they? So infantry moved.
They haven't moved.
Haven't they moved forward?
No, they have, yeah, sorry, they have.
They have moved. So they use an inferior volley, and I'm sure there's an adjustment for being columns.
I think yeah, that's inferior volley or half effect or something. Yeah, it's half effect.
Okay, and then it's -1 in cover as well.
Yeah, I might as well try it.
So it becomes a 7. Which is inferior volley is 1 casualty, that's half to a half, and you round down, so that's nothing for that one. Next battalion, 8, that's the same, so no effect for that one. And its close order volley is a 15 centimetre range, so that battalion in the middle as well will also be able to fire. That's exactly nothing. So nothing from those. Skirmishers will be out of range. You fire your skirmishers down here. They're in a close assault. So that's it for your firing, isn't it, Charlie? Let's do the French counter battery fire then. So the French will, let's just get these dice off the table. We've got artillery assault. We are going to do some counter battery fire.
That'll be a -2.
-2, yeah. And it'll be at long range, I expect.
Yes, long range.
So we'll use the black dice as the artillery dice. Wow, 12, double 12, so that'll be a destiny test. Yeah. And then 1 more casualty. So what's double 12? 12 at long range, Charlie?
-2.
Is a 10.
Yeah, at long range, 2 casualties and a discipline test.
And a discipline test, so that becomes 3 casualties and a discipline test because of the artillery dice. Let's do the discipline test on that gun.
Okay.
6 of that unformed. So not too bad, but not
great.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
All right, that's their firing. Then we'll do some defensive firing from the garrison in the village. They cause 1 casualty on your grenadiers, Charlie. We fired those guns. We've got our skirmishers. Don't you lose a dice if you're firing at skirmishers, Charlie? So for 2 bases, yeah, we didn't do it on yours, but we'll do it right on mine. Could you see it's the yellow table on the other side, Charlie, of that card?
It's 1 dice, because it's 2 to get 2 dice.
Yeah.
So it's just 1 dice.
No casualties, and then for 3s, it's 2 dice. No casualties from that skirmish screen. And then our artillery battery over here, I think, is masked. We'll do defensive fire as you charged in. No casualties from the defensive fire. And we will also fire from the village out at your hussars. 1 casualty on the hussars from the garrison of the buildings. But that's it. All right, that's shooting done. So now we're on to close combat, which will be in the village here. All right, so for the French, we have suffered no casualties. We are 5 dice strong. Charlie, you've got no casualties, 5 dice for attacking.
We're a high morale.
You're a higher morale, which gives you a 6th, and then you lose 1 for attacking a built-up area. So it's 5-5. Straight roll off. Good chance, or a good opportunity for the Prussians. We cause 1 casualty.
I cause 4.
French calls 4. My God, the Prussians will be in the village. Let's move the troops. All right, so again, bad rolls for the French. This brigade in this village on the left flank has been gone hesitant. Unfortunately, our cavalry counterattack has stuttered, and our cavalry brigade has gone hesitant. Our brigade that got pushed out of this village by the Prussians this turn has gone active, so there'll be a chance to reform. And our brigade on the right is active, but our brigade on the centre is hesitant. And for the Prussians, any hesitant brigades, Charlie? Yeah, the ones who've just taken the village have not faltered, but gone hesitant, having captured the village. So there is an opportunity for the French to counterattack without reserves, but most of the French counterattacking forces aren't in a position to do that. All right, that's it. It'll be Prussians to move first, as they have initiative. Turn 2. Any charges, Charlie?
Which one of these were the
yeah, you got infantry assault, didn't you, on this one?
Too, I think.
Yeah, the 2 front ones, I think they're elite and they're veterans.
So
or both veterans, I can't remember, we'll check.
One of them's elite. So this is, I'll say this is the elite one if there is one.
Which is going in, yeah.
And this will support them.
Yeah.
And...
Well, they'll all support, won't they?
Yeah, they will. Except that one.
So you can, that's right. You can have a flank and a rear, so you've got 2 supports. Prussians, the French will also have supports for the second round of combat because they are an active brigade. Any other charges? Your cavalry could charge, but probably doesn't want to. No charges from you. For the French, I think we will try and retake this village. So this French infantry battalion will charge into the village, into the Prussian grenadiers, if they can throw them out. But they've only got no supports to come into the second round because everything is unformed. Charges go in automatically into built-up areas, so we don't need to do charge tests, so they'll go straight to combat. So we'll now get on with more normal movement for the Prussians. All right, Charles done his skirmisher firing. He caused a skirmisher casualty on a French skirmish screen. We're now opening up with his horse artillery. You're firing at the infantry again?
Yes.
Long range then, Charlie?
That'll be also 1 casualty on the skirmish screen, then it'll go into...
I don't think...
Because they're quite close, I think it will be.
Yeah, we'll check that. I've got a feeling it won't. I think it just bounces straight through. 6 is half, so 4, 5 or 6. No, nothing for that one. Yeah. All right, your heavy guns, that's at effective range.
Against them, same targets.
10. That's pretty good. So we just need to check that. At effective range, that's 3 more casualties and another discipline test.
They're on -1 now.
Okay.
And they'll be recruits.
Yeah, so let's do the discipline test. 10, they're fine. Next battery at long range. 6 is half. No, there's nothing. And the other battery is a fatigue casualty on yourself. Oh, they'll be at -1 going forward. You might want to push those batteries forward to get into effective range, possibly, Charlie, but up to you to do. Any more artillery firing for you?
I don't think there is. Any infantry? No.
All right.
I don't think they're in range.
Okay.
I don't think anything's in range.
No.
Should we check that one just in case?
Yeah, we could do. Let's see the ranges.
I'll measure it if you want, because you can check with
I'll measure it. You just check the range on the thing. So they're 11 centimetres for a column.
Where would it be?
Up there. Close order volley. You need to be within 15 centimetres. You can fire a inferior volley.
I'll fire against the weaker one.
I think you have to fire against the one you would be charging. So I'd go to the one.
I'll go against the weaker one. So we're going against them.
Okay. Right.
8.
Okay. So that's at effective. So they moved, didn't they? So it's an inferior volley, and 8 is 2 casualties. You halve it to 1.
So just 1 casualty.
There's 1 more casualty on them, so it takes them up to 7. And remember, inferior battalions only have like 10 casualties, I think, rather than 12. Or reservist battalions, which that one has become. All right, that's your firing done. We'll do some French firing now. We'll fire again from the village against your cavalry. 1 more casualty on your cavalry, if you could mark that up, Charlie. Yep. Then our skirmishers will also fire at the cavalry.
You can't fire against cavalry in open grounds.
Yeah, you're right, they can't. Good point. Nothing to fire here. We can fire. Can we fire unformed?
No, you have to have been formed, I think.
I don't think you do.
No.
And we did form up this turn.
Anyway.
So they counted as. Oh yeah, you're right. We charged in, so we can't. We'll fire these skirmishers. 1 casualty against your Prussian screen. These skirmishers, 1 casualty against the next Prussian screen. And we'll do some more counter battery fire. We want to take this gun out. See if we can get another good roll. Oh, I thought with the 5 it was going to get somewhere, but with a -2, that's nothing. We've got some defensive fire, which we didn't do as you charged into the village. No casualties from that. And then we are going to fire our line at your skirmishers. This will be a -2. We roll a 10. We didn't do the destiny test. We'll have to do that. That's an 8 for that volley. That's a standard volley because we didn't move. That's 3 casualties. That's 1 base gone, and the screen is gone. All right, let's do the destiny test from last turn as well. We'll roll that. See if we can apply it.
That's just recover.
An 8 is recover 1 casualty. Who did that?
That was a cannon.
That was the cannon. It hasn't got any casualties, so that'll be no effect. Right, that's all our firing done. We're now into combats. Shall we start in this village here? Okay, so I get 5 dice normally. I lose 1 because I'm assaulting a built-up area. You get 5 dice normally plus 1 because you're a grenadier, so you're on 6. Yep. I'm on 4. Oh, it's close. It's a draw. It's 3 each. All right, we are going to push into the next round of combat because we are active. So right, we think we're getting this right. Charlie can't put his reserves in because he's hesitant, so they can't charge forward to retake the village. I can't put mine in because I don't have infantry assault on, so I can't commit them to the combat, we don't think. So it'll just be another roll-off as we do the second round. I cause 2 casualties.
I cause 3.
3. You win, and the French are pushed back. All right, so second assault going in. The East Silesian Grenadiers are indeed elite troops. So Charlie gets 7 dice. I only get 4. Wow, he's won it. They've captured another village. I'm retreating out of there, and the Prussians go streaming in. All right, we're on turn 3 now. Charlie's got some cuirassiers to arrive to bring his heavy cavalry brigade up to strength. The French continue to have another number of hesitant brigades. I think it must be the poor quality of their troops. The commanders are really struggling to exert control. The Prussians have retained initiative, and we'll see what they do. Unfortunately for the Prussians, they were trying to assault in the centre here, but that brigade went hesitant. Just to confirm, Charlie, your infantry assault orders were to capture the villages, weren't they? They weren't any more than that, so they'll need new infantry assault orders.
I'm probably just going to sit there now, so
you probably will. Although remember, it's 3 villages you have to get for a victory.
Yeah.
But so the French still hold 2.
There's no one in that one, so.
Yeah, but it's behind the French lines, so the French still hold it. All right, that's it for orders. Let's get on with charges in turn 3. All right, so we completed our firing for turn 3. Not a huge amount to talk about, but except for the Prussians. So the Prussian grenadiers in the village did a really effective volley. Actually, Charlie, they probably should have had 1 less dice, but we'll leave it as it is because they'd taken 6 casualties. But they caused 3 casualties on the French battalion that had charged them. In closing fire, which caused that battalion to break and retreat back, and it also unformed the unit that was opposing it. The French did quite well in the centre here. These 2 battalions opened fire against this Prussian column and caused 5 casualties on it. The French then opened fire all across this line. We caused a couple of casualties on the Prussians on the right, but lost fire discipline, volleying the Prussians in the centre. So that's it, that's the end of movement, and there is no charging this turn as the French were driven back. So we go on to turn 4. All right, so we've got some charges here. We've got the French charging in around the flank of this village. The other battalions can't move because of loss of fire discipline. And we've got this Prussian brigade crashing in against this third village complex. Let's see what happens. We've got a defensive volley by the Prussians. They've got 3 casualties, so that's no modifier. And this will be, they're just, which is the elite battalion? They're in there, aren't they? And it was the one with the different flag, which was that one. So they're not the veterans, they're just standard. So a standard volley. Pretty good. An 8, a standard volley is 3 casualties against the attacking
They're
French.
on 6 now.
Okay, so we do the charge resolution on them. So that's -1 for 6. They are also now recruits, so that's -1. So that's -2, and they took 3 casualties in the charge, so that's -4 for the French.
Yeah. So would this be in range for support?
They are in range for a support, yeah. So I roll a 7, you're on 8, and it was -4, so you've won by 5. So infantry versus infantry, -5. I will retire with 1 casualty.
Okay, what would I get if you got 1 by 6?
If you got a 6, I would retreat.
I'm going to re-roll it because I've got a 2. If I get 1 worse, it doesn't change anything. Oh.
Drop dice, don't count. Yeah, so -6, so I take an extra 1d3 casualties. So I take 3 more casualties.
They're on 9 now. They will be on 9.
Wow, and they're retreating.
You're lucky you didn't do that charge in there, because if you'd gone in and then retreated out, you'd have been faltering.
The dice to put the extra 3 casualties on. And that's it for that charge. All right, down here we've got some defensive volleys from the French. So we've got 1 full strength battalion firing against you as you charge in. They roll an 8, so again, that's pretty good. So an 8 standard volley is 3 casualties against this attacking Prussian battalion.
Yep. So up here, it's just
and then we've got a defensive volley for that one as well. I might as well do -2, and they're recruits.
So inferior volley.
Yeah.
-2.
So that becomes a 5 inferior volley, which is loss of fire discipline for them. All right, so let's do your charge results. So first battalion lost 3 casualties, so that's -2, and that's it. So -2, and you haven't committed the support to that one, have you, Charlie?
I put on the other one, so we both don't get supports.
Another French dice. We both don't get supports. So this is -2 to the Prussians.
Yeah,
I've rolled
5.
a 6. You rolled a 5.
It's not
so that's
too
-3. You retire and take 1 more casualty.
No, it's not.
So retiring is not that far, I don't think.
No.
Retiring is 20 centimetres, so you fall back. Yeah. We'll need to check whether you're formed or unformed. We'll do that in a second.
I think I just retreat you're unformed.
Retiring, I think it might be 2.
Up here.
Up here, yeah. Okay, so I caused no casualties on you. I'm -2 because I've already taken 9 casualties. And I'm in line, I'm a recruit, so I'm on -3. I do have a support though, as do you.
Okay. I'm re-rolling my 1.
To a 1, I'm re-rolling mine, so I'm on 9, -3 is a 6, against a 6, so that's a 0. Alright, so I volley you.
No, I volley you.
Oh yes, you do, you volley me.
I do casualty.
Which breaks the battalion because they're recruits now, a recruit status. So I think they only take 10 casualties. So that will that will be a test, and we'll check to see whether you take the ground. All right. So we're now at the beginning of turn 5. Charlie got his combined regiments on the table as reserve. They're slightly lower quality. They're all line, but still pretty good compared to most of my French forces. And he's successfully given them a forwards order this turn. I've gone hesitant with my light cavalry, which I'd repositioned to try and drive off those all hands. I've gone hesitant with my brigade in the centre, and the most important die rolls of all, I've got a full to test with a reroll against my central brigade, because if I lose this, I lose the centre, I'll have lost 3 villages, and I think I'll have lost the game. All right, 4. What are we getting with a 4, Charlie?
I think they retire or something.
Faltering brigades. So this brigade is still line quality, fortunately. So on a 4, they rally. Brigade successfully rallies, retreating units, but routed units disperse. Remove the falter marker, they go hesitant. If you're within 9 inches, you must immediately step back, but not garrisons, which can remain in place. So the garrison can remain in place, but I think my other infantry battalions will have to immediately step back. Right, so Charlie's moved up with his reserves and his new skirmish screen, and they've brushed away the French skirmishers that were facing them there. We're just doing Charlie's shooting in turn. We're in turn 6, Charlie, we are, aren't we?
Turn 5, because they're 5. Oh, I need to bring my reserves on.
Yeah, we're actually on turn 5. Yes, we are.
I need to bring them on.
Provisionals. All right, just complete the shooting and we'll put them on at the end.
So, these guys?
Garrison, yeah. 1 hit.
It's 1 casualty.
On my battalion outside the village. Your guns, you're going to go at the same. Which ones are you going to go at? You're going to go at that same unit in the distance there?
That unit there.
Yeah, okay, they'll get cover because they've got that
wall.
Well,
I'll go for the same one then.
Okay, so they'll all be at long range, I think.
Yeah, they already were. So
9.
2 casualties in discipline test.
You know, there's 1 casualty in a discipline test.
So it's a -1 now.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah. 6.5.
Yeah. Nothing.
No, and then the last one. And 11. Wow, that's pretty good. That's 2 more casualties and another discipline
So it'll be 2 discipline tests at -1.
Okay. So the first test is fine, we get a 12. Second test, an 11. Wow.
Now the
They're
gun
very lucky.
The far left gun.
Oh, what, the horse artillery battery? Yeah. You're firing at the infantry again?
Yeah.
Effective range, an 8 is 2 casualties.
Okay. And then my last firing is my garrison.
That's up to 5.
Is my garrison.
Yeah.
Against the units here.
Okay.
1 casualty.
Okay.
On 2 now.
Alright.
And that's all my
Have you done your skirmish screen down here?
Yes. Wait, yes.
So that one you did as well,
yeah,
did you?
they have casualty on them.
Alright.
You can do your shooting, I'll bring my reserves on.
Okay, we'll do some French scooting. There's skirmish screen. Wow, does cause casualty. You lose a base there, Charlie. And the garrison will fire at your unit that's assaulting them this turn. Doesn't do anything. We will shoot our battalions against your guys in the village. 5, 4, 3 is fire discipline. And 5, 4, 3 is fire discipline, so they all lose fire discipline. The French artillery battery will do some counter battery fire against this gun again. No, it takes another casualty, for another fatigue casualty. It doesn't do anything. We will fire against the skirmishers with our line infantry battalion. This will be an inferior volley. It loses fire discipline as well. We're not doing well this turn. And I think that's it for our firing. So we'll put our... Oh no, we've got our artillery down here. They're going to fire against the flank of the cuirassiers because we are active 8 at effective range.
So 2 casualties.
2 more casualties on the cuirassiers. Alright, that's it for the French firing, and now we're back as the Prussians seek to capture the village in the center. Alright, so the Prussians trying to break into the village. French actually got a reasonable chance. They cause 2 casualties. The Prussians cause 3 against a built-up area. I'm not sure that's an automatic break-in.
It goes to the second round,
doesn't it?
Do you want to carry on though?
Have I got any reinforcements?
No, but you're on 4 casualties now.
But I'm defending, Charlie, so I don't need infantry assault.
Yeah, but
I
you're
am hesitant.
So it doesn't matter.
I think I've got to try to, because I need to stay in the village. So I'm now still on 4. So I'm now on 4 dice.
I got a 5. I got 10 because my guys.
Yeah, this isn't worth staying, is it? Do I pull out? I think I might.
You might as well.
We might as well fight. See what we can do. We caused 3 casualties. That's pretty good.
I caused 4.
5.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, 5.
You win by 2. Actually, not too bad a result for me, given the odds there. So I lose by 2. I retreat, and you take the village.
Do you have any casualties going out?
Right, so let's have a recap of where we are on turn 5. So Charlie has brought his elite reserve, so this is the Prussian Guard, onto the flank, potentially to assault this village and protect against any flanking attack. I do note Charlie now has all his heavy cavalry and his elites over here. That might give me an opportunity. I think I'm going to have to counterattack in the centre to try and recapture this village, get back into the position at least. So I've got 2 reinforcement brigades that could come on next turn. Charlie has successfully captured this village. He threw me out, but the Prussians holding this village have taken a lot of casualties. He does have reserves coming up here, another 4 battalions from the combined regiment and a trailing battalion of the brigade that's in the village. The other 2 flanks, the right flank here and the left flank here, are both held with veteran troops from the Silesians and West Prussians. So I think these 2 villages look pretty much well held by Charlie, but we may have a chance to capture this one in the rear. We'll see what happens as we come back after lunch and see how the Prussians do against the renewed French counterattack. Alright, here we are at turn 6. So we've managed to get quite a bunch of orders off. We've put artillery assault on our French artillery battery here, but there is a risk it could get charged in the flank by these French. We've put infantry assaults to recapture the village on this brigade. This village here, we have 2 reinforcement French brigades approaching the table, and one of those has infantry assault on the village, the Léger brigade. Down here, all other French units are active. Charlie has a forwards order on his elite brigade on the left flank, and he has a forwards order on his brigade in the centre. The Prussians have initiative. They have not declared any charges. For the French, we would like to charge in here as we have infantry assault in place, but we lost fire discipline, so those units can't move. So we won't be charging with that brigade this turn. So I think that's it. No charges, normal movements for the Prussians. All right, here we are at the end of turn 6. Charlie's veteran brigade of guards is approaching this village to assault it. He's moved his heavy cavalry up to threaten the French lines. This French infantry battalion broke under the weight of the artillery fire from his horse battery, so we have a falter test on... No, we didn't. They just had to retreat, didn't they, Charlie? So we only have 1 retreating brigade. 1 more casualty and they'll be gone. So Charlie, I'm sure, will be trying to shoot at them next turn. French are bringing a fresh brigade up to potentially counterattack and reinforce the position here. This brigade here, far from the village, took out 1 of the retiring battalions. So we've got a falter test on this brigade, and we lost another battalion to fire from the Prussians in this village. So we have 2 falter tests on the Prussians this turn. We've moved our veteran light French brigade in to try and recapture this village. So we'll see if the French can pull that off. That's the end of turn 6. We'll now move on to turn 7 as there is no hand-to-hand combat this turn. Alright, so I've already got a couple of faltering brigades. The one in the village here is faltering. Which was the other one that was faltering, Charlie? And the one that's taken heavy casualties from the far behind the building. So actually I shouldn't have done that one because that's got to take a falter test. So we've got 2 falter tests on 2 of my French
brigades.
Isn't
that a broken brigade? So it'll have
Not yet, because it's only lost 2 of 4 and it has to be over 50%. So
it's lost, isn't it? Like, that's all dying.
So 2, we will have to take our re-roll, and it's a 2. That brigade is gone. That is a retire at least, if not a Savoy keeper, and they disappear off the table. All right, and then my brigade in the centre here, it's a 3. Which is not good enough. Now this brigade is a recruit standard brigade because of the number of casualties it's taken. So for a recruit, a 3 is a retire, so I'll have to re-roll. We get a 6. They will stay on the table, but there's a hole in the French centre. All right, so that is a minus 2 test to the French, and the Prussians were Sorry, so...
Would you get a minus for a brigade dying, like leaving?
No, but you don't, it's one of your minus ones, because it retired, so it was still hesitant.
So it's your minus.
So let's roll, see where we get to.
So you're on -3.
And you're on -1, is that right? 9.
7.
That's a draw.
But I
Who
had
had
initiative
initiative?
me.
Prussians had initiative last turn, so Prussians go again in turn 8. Right, so 3 charges have gone in. The French are counter-attacking here. 3 battalions have gone into this village. Over here, 3 Prussian battalions have gone into the remaining French-held village, and the other Prussian battalion has gone into the square. The squares can fire, I think. I think squares fire at half effect. Is that not right, Charlie? Infantry no, it doesn't. I need to check if you can fire if you're in square.
You can.
Half casualties if fire in square. Okay, yeah. So it'll be half casualties. So the French will fire at this attacking Prussian battalion. That's pretty good. We get a 10 for a steady volley. That is 2 casualties and a discipline test on the Prussians, Charlie. What did you get?
They are unformed.
They are unformed. All right, let's do the charge results then for this one. You still do indeed charge in. On 2 casualties, that's -1, and being unformed is -2, so that's -3. And a square is -2. You are veterans, I think, and I am line, so that makes it a straight roll off. Let's see what the French get. They roll a double 1, you roll 11, they are destroyed, and you will potentially charge on. Let's see what you get for that. You've won by more than 6. Attacker victory. So you can either take the ground or you can charge on up to 4d6. You could potentially charge on into that next square.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do that.
Okay, roll 4d6, Charlie. That's a very impressive roll. That's 17. That should be enough. Let's move these chargers. Okay, so not quite enough range. So the Prussian battalion has charged on up the side of this building but has not quite got in. But we will now do the charges. Well, we'll now do the firing. We'll do the defensive firing from the buildings first. So there are 3 defensive shots against the attacking Prussians. We cause 1 casualty. We'll do it against the elites, but that won't affect the combat. And then where were the other charges? You've got defensive volleys over here, Charlie. No casualties there. All right, now that's all the defensive fire done for the charges. Let's do normal firing Prussians to start. Let's start down here, Charlie. You've got...
It's movement.
Oh, you're right. It's movement. Sorry. We'll come back after. All right, we've done our firing and both of us realise we've been foolish. Charlie forgot to charge his heavy cavalry brigade through these screens into the flank of the gun crew or into these columns. And I forgot to charge my light cavalry against the all hands when they were in range, and Charlie then pulled them back. Otherwise, from firing, Charlie just missed breaking this battalion with some artillery fire, but he did cause a fault test on this brigade down here with the charge of those infantry you saw earlier, and he caused another fault test here because his infantry battalion advancing up the side of the building volleyed my French battalion.
If they run, that'd be massive because I can get these. This is a very good division, very fresh actually. It's only taken 3 casualties in the whole division to move across there.
Yeah. We're suffering quite a lot. So this French infantry brigade, even though it's counter-attacking, has taken quite a few casualties, and this French infantry brigade is in dire straits. The French infantry brigade holding this village is pinned and square and has taken quite a lot of casualties. So the French army looks like it's on the point of collapse. All right, Charlie, let's do the hand-to-hand combat. So we've got the combats in this village first. I have taken no casualties, but I am a faltering brigade. I don't know whether being a faltering brigade causes a modification in hand-to-hand combat. Doesn't look like it does. No, it doesn't. So I get 5 dice. You're elite, so you get 7.
Yep.
Or rather you get 8, but then you lose 1 for attacking a built-up area, so you're down to 7. So we've done one of these before. So the French cause 1 casualty. My God, the Prussians, every assault has been successful. They've caused that unit to retreat, and you have captured this village. All right, so now we do the French counterattack against this village. I start with 5 dice. I lose 1 for 6 casualties, and I lose 1 for assaulting a built-up area, so I get 3.
I'll gain some because I'm veteran.
Are you a veteran?
No, elite. I think I'm the elite battalion. This one, that's the veteran.
Okay.
Or was it over there? Oh no, I think this was the veteran. This is the veteran one. The elites down there.
Obviously, Charlie was right. It is his elites. So he gets 5 dice for defending, plus one for being elite, and then he is elite, and I'm actually recruits. So veteran line. So 1, 2. So that's 3 steps better as well. Oh my God, this was a mistake charging in here. Certainly the end of my battalion. I think I do cause 3 casualties, but Charlie causes 7. That battalion is destroyed, and that will be another Falter test. And the Prussians have won, even if they took 3 casualties. Brave fight by my provisional line, but to their undoing. All right, this is going to be really tough for the French. I've only got 3 active ADCs. I'm going to put 2 on this brigade, because if I lose this one here, I've lost this whole half of the table. And around here, at least I've got my light cavalry and my reinforcement brigade. But I think the French are running out of options really rapidly. So Charlie, have you allocated your ADCs?
Yep.
All right, I'll roll for my activations first. I'll do my light cavalry. They're active. My reserves are active. My really knackered brigade in the centre is active. My Legion, who I need to give attack orders to, have gone hesitant again, so that's a disaster. And I'm just onto my Falter test.
So
how did you do, Charlie?
My cavalry over there, my far right with the Lancers, are hesitant.
Okay.
Everything else is active, but I needed all my rerolls I gave. Every reroll I gave, I had to use.
You had to use, right? Cool. All right. So let's do my Falter tests. See where we end up with my 2 brigades that are in trouble. This could be pretty much game over. Right. So we've got a reroll on this one. First roll is a 6. They obey orders. They hang in there, but they've taken a lot of casualties. I don't think they're going to last much longer. Then I've only got 1 dice on the brigade over here. We roll a 2. That is, I'm sure it's savoir qui peut for them. It is. That brigade is gone. A 2nd French brigade breaks. All right, so here we go. The cuirassiers have charged in. Could you pass me the tails, Charlie? Cuirassiers have charged in against the French. French did roll a 10, so they managed to form a square. So let's do the modifiers. We need to check what the morale status of your cuirassiers is. All right, so the square bonus offsets the heavy cavalry cuirassier bonus. So this is a straight roll off. Let's see what happens, Charlie. I get a 6.
It's not.
You get a 6. You get a re-roll, Charlie, because you've got a support. You've got a 10. I get a re-roll, I presume.
I just bounce off anyway, because I need to win by 6.
Oh, right, so I won't re-roll because I might get a worse result. So you only won by 3 to 5, didn't you? Cavalry versus infantry. Cavalry retire with 1 square, one casualty, and so does the square. All right, so the French have just conceded defeat and called off their counter-attack at this stage. They're going to have to appeal to Napoleon for reinforcements. So where have we got to? Over on the left flank, the light cavalry continue to face off against one another. They could possibly charge this turn, but the French have no inherent advantage over those Prussians, so that will probably be some sort of standoff. Our reinforcement brigade here in the centre, they're reservist troops. They haven't taken any casualties yet, but they are effectively pinned by these 2 units of heavy cavalry, and this 1 gun, which does have artillery superiority, will continue popping away as with the skirmishers, so they're unlikely to be able to move forward without being charged by the cavalry, so that would be good. Nothing threatens this village. This brigade here did just pass another what's it called, Charlie? Falter test. But one's taken 5, one's taken 7 casualties. And again, they'll just continue to take fire from the village and this skirmish screen if they push forward any further. So they're effectively out of the game. The Prussians have moved their grand battery forward. It now dominates this reinforcement route for the French. You can see we have 2 of our veteran light battalions there. Unfortunately, one of them got hit by the Russian heavy artillery this turn and took 2 casualties. It had to take a discipline test and rolled a 3. So it fled off the table. So this, our reinforcement brigade is also now down to only 2/3 strength. It's also hesitant and has been hesitant for the last 2 turns. And we have a large Prussian brigade moving up there, another Prussian brigade occupying the village, although this one has taken almost the only casualties of the Prussians this game. It's down 6 casualties and 4 and 3, but still pretty healthy. Down here we have the remains of one French brigade hanging on here, but again they've taken lots of casualties, 1 more casualty, and it'll be a falter test and then a broken brigade, so it'll automatically retreat. So this French brigade will also go next turn. So I think the best thing for the French to do is pull back off the table with their 2 reserve brigades, but that's pretty much all of the army they've got left. Everything else has been wiped out. For the Prussians, these are the French casualties, and somewhat disappointingly, these are the Prussian casualties. Absolutely glorious play. Well done, Charlie. What did you think about the game? Any reflections?
It was quite good. The thing is, I just tried to overwhelm him down straight away by sending all my infantry down the centre and just hoping to brute force it. Because I wasn't planning on sending anyone down here. And I thought that was going to collapse. I sent my elites down here, took the village, because the cavalry is more just a distraction to keep you there, whilst I made my main brute force and just broke through the centre.
Yeah.
What I was trying to do.
So certainly the veteran and elite units in the Prussian brigades really did prove effective taking these villages off the French, and I think the French were a bit unlucky. Every single assault against the village, which the French should have had a reasonable chance of holding on to, they lost on the first round, never able to bring any reinforcements in. So tough day for the French, and hope you've enjoyed the game. Certainly if you're a French supporter, I didn't. We will bring back this game and this table for the second part of Lutzen, and we'll see Napoleon's counterattack by the Young Guard. Let's see how that goes in our next video. Cheers, everyone.